Everyone, welcome back to the second part of the topic. There are no forests on Earth. If you haven't seen the first part yet, don't worry, the links are down in the description box. Go ahead and watch it. And to the people who have already seen my first part, let's continue and take a small flashback to the last part of the last video where we discussed about this worldwide fire that destroyed 99% of the Earth's biosphere, which means everything that we see all around us that is crawling, running, flying, or growing on this earth is actually 20,000 times less in volume compared to what it was before this worldwide fire. Now, here is a point that needs to be noted, so please pay attention over here, my friends. If the total population of the earth, including all the living creatures, before this worldwide fire were so humongous, huge in number, and if after this worldwide fire the population dropped down to 20,000 times less in volume, then why is this myth of overpopulation? Now, to understand this fact, let's take a look at this picture for an example. This small piece of cake is the plants, the animals, and the humans, in short, all the living creatures on this earth. Such little piece of cake on this large transport truck represents Earth's biosphere before those time. The myth of overpopulation is a crap. It is a hoax and 100% nonsense. Because the problem is what? Is that the biologists divided these population numbers between all the continents, and they calculated all these figures only on the dry lands, and they excluded all the ice and snow on the earth, which are in plenty and where creatures used to live on before this worldwide fire. And there are even more places where we can go and start living because these places are perfectly habitable. 30 meters tall forest acts like a virus on our brain, and especially the brains of these biologists, for which it becomes very hard and difficult and seems almost impossible to come up with any solutions to these problems. Now let's take a look at some old photos. This is vandalous felling of the sequoias in the California redwood sometime between the era 1880s and 1920s. These trees miraculously survived the bombardment of the planet in 1816. And if you look closely, you can understand the enormous size of these trees. This picture is not an imagination based picture. This is the truth, and this is the reality which the painter painted down on his canvas. And then came these terrible men with saws and axes, took down one and then two, and now no more trees left. In this picture, if you see, the diameter of this stump is 3 times bigger than this woodcutter's size. Let's try and analyze what could have been the size of these trees of those time. Imagine a forest that is not usually 30 meters tall. Take a look at this formula where it says those trees were 105 meters high, 345 feet, my friends. Isn't it awesome? And here are your fairy forests, forests that are lost because of such barbarians. We all know that they were poor, they were just wage workers. But actually, the problem is with the criminals who ordered from above, who didn't even hesitate to destroy all these extraordinary trees, cutting them down for money, class, and power. But if these workers, all of them, would have refused to do this merciless crime, then all of the forest could have been saved. Now pay attention to this picture. What do they look like to you? To me, they looks like virus. They looks like some kind of satanic bacteria that kills forest organisms. Many think that these trees were killed just for wooden materials, but there are also some other reasons. Many may don't know, but these trees have extraordinary capabilities. These trees are perfect energy generators. They constantly generate electricity and oxygen from photosynthesis. Their foods have extraordinary root network that were able to exchange data. Our ancestors had this theory regarding these trees, that these trees have the power to store memories, moments, and data from everything on the planet, and they can store them in their information portal in their carbon fibers. Imagine that. But these trees are carbon based lives. They are not from the silicon era, but yet they are nowhere to be found. If you notice carefully, these sized trees took thousands of years to grow up to this ultimate size. And if you notice carefully, the myths and legends of all the nations, you will come up with crazy stories about people, animals, and plants transforming or morphing into stones, and this is normal. Paleontologists from all over the world dig petrifying fossils of humans, plants, and animals. There are many of these petrified fossils overfilling these old museums, and there you will find such petrified fossils of clover, frogs, and lizards. Pieces of dinosaurs too. But where are the giants? What about the forest that we get to see nowhere on today's date? These are the questions that we never asked anytime. Never. And it is very sad to know that the trees that had these extraordinary capacities were all cut down by these demonic, satanic criminals who allowed this to happen just for power, greed, and selfishness. But this would be it for this part. Do like and subscribe if you liked this video. I will see you on that side of the third part. I have a little more touch-ups to do, and as soon as I am done with it, I will publish it. So stay connected, live a good life, stay wise, honest, and may God bless you all, my friends. Thanks for all the supports of all you guys who ever supported me. Good night, goodbye.